pointed before that the I, Claudius, is a good example of this, of having a character that is not necessarily as important to history in the background rather than the foreground. Sorry, the reverse of that, in the foreground, and then the historical people are in the background. I recently watched, or rewatched rather, the Oliver Stone film Nixon, and that's an example, I think, of the reverse of that done right, where an historic figure is central. But that film, well, I think it has a really great central performance and some great writing, and it also has some overweening symbolism. There's a scene where a character's eyes black out, which is just awful. But your plays, and I think almost everything I've read of yours, including your poems, you really rarely focus on the historical figure. The history is in the background and the characters on the front line. And I can imagine, say, that your Genghis Khan plays would be much the same, where Khan may just be laxing on his throne, whereas the real characters that will emerge will be maybe a serf or so.
I don't know. Well, I'll have to see when I get to that. I mean, it's one of those things that I initially wanted to do novels about the Khans, but I'm thinking that because I would want to portray, well, I would have to have the Mongols, for example, speak English, and therefore I would have to have any of their captive people just speaking gibberish because people couldn't understand it. And what I'm thinking, it might make better sense as a play, Orson Welles kind of black version, or voodoo Macbeth kind of thing, doing sort of that. But that's something that when I get to them, I'm just, it's odd. I never really wrote about myself as Dan Schneider in my poems. Then I did True Life, but the Dan Schneider of True Life is clearly looking down, or is almost an omniscient narrator. And then we get the Manny Cole character. I had the Kevin character in the Kevin trilogy. The Manny Cole character in the New York Quartet is not really me. But Danny Wagner is certainly the closest to Dan Schneider. There are some differences, but he's an interesting character, and in some of these plays, in a play like this, I actually prefer the plays where Danny is a tertiary character. I mean, Faith and Charity are the two co-leads. They're the two co-leads. Lisa is the secondary character, and all the rest of them are tertiary. But as I do say, in the last two scenes, Danny stands alone on the stage, and we get the sense that Danny is the actual rememberer of the play. This is what Danny remembers. Danny is the author of the play. Now, I wanted to ask you a question. If you can pull up the Crude Foyer poem by Stevens, just type in Crude Foyer text, Wallace Stevens or whatnot, and you look at the title there, it turns out to be here. And that comes at the end of that poem. And I use that also as the last words in the play. It turns out to be here, but you'll notice there's a different meaning. So I wanted to ask you, just if you want to take a minute here, look at the end of the Stevens poem and then the end of this play, and you'll see just as the ending of Their Visible Dimension. I think it's Their Visible Dimensions, and it's the one with the nurse, the play with the nurse, that has the same ending. Is it the same lines? I forget now which.
Carbohydrates and amino acids.
Oh, okay, yeah, carbohydrates. Yeah. So just as I use the same exact lines, and they're totally different. If you read the Stevens play, the meaning of the ending of the Stevens use of that line is 99% of this play, but my play ends with the exact same words. It's 6 words. It turns out to be here. I had to count on my fingers there. I really invert what Stevens was going for there, because if you look at Stevens intellectualizes the meaning of it, but in the end, Danny is talking about happiness and emotion, and so within my play, I take the meaning of the play as presented in 99% of the play with the Stevens quote from the Stevens poem, And I just wanted to know if you have any comment on that.
Well, yeah, Stevens gives more of a grandiosity to the statement, whereas the ending here, especially because a blackout follows it, it's more of an ironic turn than it is a straight statement like if it's with Stevens, where Stevens is commenting on what came before. Yours is sort of a turn away from what came before.
That's interesting. I just wanted to hear what you thought of it, but anyway.